Hello, everybody. Welcome back. PieCover here. I wrote 2 articles yesterday because I didn't have to go to work. I had the day off, so basically they called me and they asked me to stay because there's cancellation in our work, bad weather, stuff like that. So I said, okay, I have some time. I'm gonna work for Bitcoin. I'm gonna sit down and write for Bitcoin. So I pulled my laptop and started writing Bitcoin, and it was amazing. So basically, what I did was talking about. The first article was about Bitcoin mornings. I talk about the morning and the beauty of the morning. You wake up and just like I do every day, every morning on my way to work. It's beautiful, amazing. When I was in the fiat mindset, I always look at the morning like a bad thing. Morning, especially Monday morning, say, oh, this is terrible, man. I gotta work and I gotta, just paycheck to paycheck and things like that. Well, now it doesn't mean that I'm not paycheck to paycheck, but at least that I know I'll take some satoshis. I'll put some satoshis aside, and those satoshis will be worth a lot more in the future. So this kind of remove that total stress that I had, which made my morning terrible. Now because of Bitcoin, I get to take my time to appreciate the morning and degustate. When I say degustate, that means you take your time to really consume that, and you kind of take your time, right? And then you observing and you look and you just loving what you see, and especially the natural things, right? The trees, the sun, the sun rising and the light, the beautiful light, and all these beautiful things, and beautiful faces and people going to work and you're telling them good morning and stuff like that. So that's what I wrote about. And after that, I also talk about what was the other article that I wrote about? I talk about Bitcoin, not crypto, and why it's important to make that distinction, because a lot of people are confused, just like I was confused when I just got into Bitcoin, and I always thought that Bitcoin and crypto are the same thing, because there's grifters out there on YouTube or so many other places. They always try to tell you, oh, they are like a bit better than Bitcoin. They can do better. They can do this. They can do that. There's so many coins. I was so confused, and I was lost in this coin universe, and that made me lost a bunch of money in those things. I lost a lot of money in those things, and now I learned my lesson and understand that it's Bitcoin and it's not crypto. And those crypto guys, they are grifters. They want to steal your money, and they are all scams. No exception. There's no exception. So this is my Bitcoin moment, when I realized, okay, these things are not going anywhere. They're just stealing your money slowly or rapidly. So that was my understanding, my realization. Now I wrote this article because I wrote an article on May 1st, 2022. That was before the collapse of Celsius and before the collapse of BlockFi and all those crypto companies. So what I wrote was about not your keys, not your coin. I wrote about you have to own your own keys. If you have to ask permission to move your Bitcoin, then it's not your Bitcoin. You have to log into an account, then it's not your Bitcoin. So that's what I basically talk about in the article on May 1st, 2022. And just after, like a few months after, you saw all this collapse of all those crypto loan companies, the yield companies. So where people lose all our Bitcoin. I don't really care about the cryptos. I mean, the crypto was gonna go to zero anyway, but the Bitcoin was valuable, and those companies were hypothecating those Bitcoin. So this was lost, and I hope these people learned our lesson. And it's hard, but sometimes it's good for people to learn, to understand. Like most people don't learn if they don't have like this hard time, right? But I hope these people learn, and then they use that lesson to teach other people so they don't go through the same problem. Because just like the ETF is it's another way for people to get some exposure. I have friends who own ETF, and I'm still working on teaching them how to get the real stuff, the real thing, which is the Bitcoin, the real bare instrument that you can move anytime when you want, no permission needed. So I'm trying to get them to get that, but it's still, people don't really trust themselves in some areas, right? That's how the system train us to be. The system is training us since our inception in this planet. They want to make us believe that we are not trustworthy. We can't trust ourselves, right? So for those people, like now after 30 years of existence of the system telling them don't trust themselves, now it's hard for them to hold down keys. It's hard for them. It's so crazy, just 12 words. People can't even do that. They're like, no, they're scared, right? But that's a reality. And this thing is step by step. And I tell them, I said, just step by step. You take your time. When you're ready, you will come to it, and hopefully they don't freeze your money first. So you don't learn that the hard way. But that's the reality, and it just gonna happen slowly, and it's up to us to just teach. That's why I create the PieCover.com. This site is just a blog. I pay $15 a year to keep it up, and I think it's worth it. It's worth $15 a year, and it's worth my time to post some article and teaching people about Bitcoin. Right now we are about 10 million users in Bitcoin, not counting people using Lightning. I think we are way beyond that. But the most important thing is that we make sure people understand this technology and they use it the good way, because most of the problem, re-hypothecation and all this problem is because of the lack of education. People don't have the right information. They think it's crypto. They think they can make money, they can be rich, but it's the opposite, So I wrote that yesterday. Bitcoin, not crypto, and I try to make this distinction specifically about that, because they are not the same. So that's basically what it is, guys. So I see a bunch of people, the work. I mean, I see a bunch of people on Twitter, for example, right? I mean, if you're on Twitter, right, you're in a circle, you're in like the Bitcoin circle, you're like in a bubble, something like that. I don't see like the benefit of that, you know, for I don't see the benefit of being just on Twitter. Like, I think, yes, all these guys, they already know about Bitcoin anyway. I mean, some crypto guys, maybe, I don't know, who cares? Like, those crypto guys, they're not gonna listen to you anyway. So I think a better use of our time would be create a website where, I mean, just a blog, or when somebody go on the internet and they look for something, maybe your blog come up, right? And with a very useful article speaking about why it's important to hold your own keys, speaking about why it's Bitcoin and not crypto, why these things will steal your money, and speaking about the importance of the 21 million hard cap, and why it's important to run your own node to make sure the consensus rules don't keep on working every 10 minutes, and you keep on validating your own transactions. So those are the most important thing I think we should be doing, instead of just sitting there and shit posting on Twitter. When you write an article, it's not shit posting, right? It's good posting. You're writing a blog, you're explaining. That's a good thing. That's not shit, right? So that's what I look at. Like, every day I try to come out here and make a podcast on Bitcoin. It's not because I think I'm gonna have a big reach of people. It's just because I think it's, first of all, it's a good practice for me. I feel like I'm doing something, even nobody's listening, but I'm doing something that I'm good in my skin. I feel comfortable in myself, and that I don't see anything like other better things that I could be doing in the world on my way to work, right? So, I mean, I have other time during the day to do that podcast, but hey, on my way to work, I hold the phone, right? So really, it doesn't require me too much to do that. So that's why I do that. And I hope like more people would be doing that, instead of just shit posting on Twitter and all this nonsense, talking about the economy and stuff like that. Well, I get it. Like, if you have Bitcoin, right? Why do you have to worry about this nonsense that are going on? What Joe Paul is saying? Like, it's like there's so many people worry about. Oh yeah, they just like Janet Yellen or whatever is that person, and they're talking about like this, wowing, in Bitcoin wallet. I mean, I get it. Those people, we already know they was gonna come up for these things. So I don't understand why people have to be so worried about any other news, right? Yelling at the system, just like Jeff Booth is saying. Like, the more you're yelling at the system, the stronger you're making it. And that's why, like, I go the opposite way. I'm like, I'm not yelling at the system. I don't want to yell at the system. I just want to come out here and provide value, do something good. And if somebody find value on my article, on my podcast, they can send me value back. But I'm not here to scare everybody and make everybody fearful, and then, like, be part of the problem. I want to be part of the solution, right? So, and this is why I chose Bitcoin, the real thing. So, anyways, guys, go check it out, PieCover.com. If you find value, that's the only thing I ask. There's no tracking, nothing out there on the blog. The only thing is just, if you find value, one satoshi. I don't need anything more. And then in that satoshi, the good thing about it too, you can write a comment. Let's say you say, oh, I like this, that, and oh, I maybe you should improve in this and that. Right? You help me improve. You help me be better. These kind of ways. You just tell me, okay, maybe this is, you would say this instead of that. Things like that. I would be nice. And if you like something, you say, oh, I like the way you describe that, you explain this, nice, good. So that's a way also you can communicate with me, explain me what you like and stuff like that. Anyways, guys, it start to be too long. I'm gonna talk to you again in the next talk. This was PieCover. Thank you for listening. I love having you guys listening.